Hey there, thanks for joining me. This is Devin with the SEO Dentist, and today we are going to be talking about online marketing for your practice for 2019 and for growth. And really what we're doing is we're bringing you the definitive online marketing strategy and implementation guide for dental professionals. Now, these are going to be strategies that we use every day in our agency that are helping us triple sales for some of our dentists. These are strategies that are helping us get up to 50 or 60 leads a week for some of our dentists, and overall just dominating the search engines and pretty much everywhere that people are going now to look for dentists and dental professional services. So today we're going to dive into all that stuff. And before we get started, I just wanted to go over a couple preliminary things. Exactly what we're going to cover is how to create a profitable marketing strategy that is proven to work, right? Like I said, we're doing this every day. And we've done this with hundreds of clients, and we've really drilled down and figured out exactly what works, and we're just going to be giving that to you today. So you don't have to worry about it, right? I know a big problem with marketing that all business professionals face, not just dentists, is that when you're worrying about your marketing or when you're trying to do it yourself, you're having less time to focus on what it is that you actually like doing, which in this case is dentistry. Number two, we're going to show you how to become the go-to dentist. And what I mean by that is the market leader or the authority in your area. The market authority, the dental authority as according to Google and the internet, really. When people search, they're going to see you all over the place. And not only that, with the branding and the strategies that we're going to implement, this is also going to help you from a consumer point of view be seen as respected, authoritative, trustworthy. And maybe you already have some of this down, but if you do, we're just going to help you enhance that. Number three is give you a roadmap for getting your practice to rank on Google Maps in your area, obviously, by establishing your NAP, citation development, and reviews. And if you don't know what that stuff means, don't worry. We're going to get into it and show you exactly what to do. And really what this is going to help you do is now that more and more people are using their mobile phones. In fact, on a lot of our clients, we're seeing over 50% of people that come to their website are using mobile devices. And so you really want to be there in the local area. When people are searching on their phones, there's a GPS on the phone, and Google is going to show you dentists in the maps, right? So we're going to show you how to get up there. It can drive a ton of clicks and a ton of business for dentists. The next thing is how to get your practice to show up on page one in the organic space. The maps are different than the organic space. Now, we're going to get into that as well. But basically what we're going to do is show you how to get up into those maps. Of course, just more generally, how to increase your leads, your sales, patients, and profits. There's a lot of things that go into online marketing, from how your website is, how your branding is, all the way through the exact strategies you deploy for your advertising. And we're going to show you how to bring those all together and really just make your practice more profitable. If you're here today, it's because you want to grow and you're in the right place. And finally, we're going to develop a custom action plan for you based on where you are now and where you need to go. Now, it's pretty obvious that everyone on this webinar, I would imagine, is a dental professional like yourselves, but that doesn't mean you're in the same place, right? You could be 1 year into your practice, 5, 10, 15 years or more into your practice, and so every marketing campaign needs to be specific to your situation. How many hygienists do you have? How many offices do you have? What services do you offer, etc. And those are the types of things that we're going to take into consideration when we create a specifically designed plan for you that you can follow step by step. Okay, so the one thing I asked is just, eliminate the distractions, and this isn't, for me, it doesn't matter to me really, other than that I want you to get good results, but it's more for you. Turn off your cell phones. If you're here, if you're serious about growing your practice, we're really going to show you what we've taken years to construct and put together, and the things that we do in our agency. This is really proprietary information, and if you actually do digest all this and put it into action, you're going to get really amazing results that people pay tens of thousands of dollars a year for us to do for them. So I would ask, if you are serious about growing your practice, I'm going to try and make this as quick as possible while still giving you the information that you need. So just turn off your cell phones, turn off Facebook. That's never going to help you anyways. And if you're a dental professional or a marketing manager for a dental practice or a dental practice owner, like I said, if you're serious about getting results this year, 60 to 90 minutes, I'm going to keep it closer to the 60 if I can. This has the power to significantly improve your business, and if you really want to get some proof of that, go over to our case studies page on the SEOdentist.com and look at the case studies. We're tripling the size of people's practices in under a year. Some of these practices we're getting 10, 20, 60, even almost 100 leads a month for them, right? So this information is very powerful. All right, I think I beat that to the ground. And we also have 3 gifts at the end, so if you do stick with us, we're going to give you a list, a downloadable list of the most commonly searched keywords for, that should say, dental professionals. Forget the typos, that's not what we're here for, right? We're here for the information. So we're going to give you a list of exactly what you should be going for that's going to help you optimize your website. We're going to be giving you the Google My Business optimization checklist. And that's really the key to getting in those maps and getting all those calls from people who need dentists that are nearby you. And we're also going to give you an ROI calculator. And ROI just means return on investment. And our mission and our goal and everything we do is driven by the fact that we want to make sure that when we do marketing, that it's always going to be profitable. You should always be making more money than you're spending on marketing. Otherwise, what's the point? So we're going to give you a calculator that you can actually use to understand before you ever get started, before you spend any money, what is the potential in my market? How much can I actually make? How much can I grow? What's out there? Google actually gives us enough information about how many people are searching, who needs the services around you, that we can actually get very accurate guesstimates, but pretty accurate guesstimates about how much money can you actually make if you invest in your marketing. So if you're skeptical or if you're just conservative with your money and you don't like to take risks, that's good. I believe in that as well. This is going to give you some peace of mind and show you really what the other side of that reward is. All right, and questions? If you have questions, just leave them in the webinar box if you're watching this live, and we'll answer them at the end. And then if you're watching it on the replay, feel free, below the video, there's going to be some comment area where you can just ask your questions, and we'll either have somebody on the webinar during the replays that can actually answer them live for you, or we'll get to you very shortly, right? So just drop all your comments, all your questions in there, and we'll have somebody respond to every single one of them. So about us and why you should listen, we were founded in 2013. We've helped hundreds of successful dental marketing campaigns. We are association members with the Elite Dental Alliance, the Seattle Studia Club, Dental CMO, Kane Waters and Associates, and more. I'm not going to list them all here, but we are active in the community, and we take pride in that. We work with dentists across the United States, from California to New York, and even some internationally in Canada. And we're the author of the book, The Dental Online Marketing, The Complete Guide to Digital Marketing for Dentists, Orthodontists, and Dental Professionals, which you can pick up on Amazon. Or if you stay to the end, I'll give you a copy of it for free as well. So 4 gifts. So let's just get started. And I wanted to start this by saying more so every day, business starts online. This is probably pretty obvious to you now. I don't think I need to go into the whole people used to use the phone book, now people don't use the phone book thing anymore. But I'll just give you some stats. So if you're not maximizing your digital marketing to grow your business, you are in trouble, or you're setting yourself up to be in trouble. Look at these stats. 97% of people use online search to find a local business. That's pretty much everyone, right? I think that says enough. We don't even have to go through the rest of them, really. But I will. 86% of people look up the location of a business using Google Maps. Another reason why it's so important to be in the maps. 92% of searchers will pick a business on the first page of local results. Now remember, in one of the previous slides, we said one of the things we're going to do today is show you how to get on page 1. Because, and this is why, 9 out of 10 people are going to pick something on page 1. They're not even going to go to page 2. So if you're not showing up for your keywords, for example, if you're a dentist in Glendale, California, and somebody types Glendale dentist, or if someone's in Glendale and types, I need a dentist near me, and you're not there on page 1, you're not going to get that customer. You're not going to get that patient. They're going to go to your competitors. Well, 9 out of 10 of them are. 70% of customers visit a store based on information found online. You want to have an online presence. You want it to be presentable. You want to be that market authority like we talked about. And then 47% of consumers view 3 to 5 pieces of content created by a company before talking to a salesman from that company. So that's an interesting one, and that's something we haven't touched on yet, but part of our strategy involves creating quality content, and that's the reason why. Because pretty much half of everyone that comes to your website is going to view a couple pages. So we want to have that concise, presentable, and quality. So we have some real world case studies here, and they might be a bit difficult to see. Patient growth, 4x in 12 months. We have that was for the Morrisville dentist. Traffic for the Morrisville dentist went up 392% increase in organic traffic. You can see it might be a bit difficult to see here. And SEO rankings improved the rankings for 14 keywords. We got them in the maps for #1, and we got them #1 organic as well. So this was a combination of SEO, PPC, and Facebook ads. And this is what we mean by the complete online marketing strategy, right? You want to have a little bit of each thing. I'll just throw in another case study here. This is for Krieger Orthodontics, 6 times patient growth in 12 months. So imagine what that could do for you if in the next year you could increase your patient of your practice by 6 times, right? And that came with a 410% increase in organic traffic. So organic is obviously driving a lot of that growth. So we rebuilt the website for them. What we noticed when new clients come to us is that for the most part, 9 out of 10, I want to even say probably 99% of all people that come to us have some problems with their website, whether it's design or structure or SEO optimization or a combination of all 3 of those. So this one started with a new website. We did an SEO campaign for them and got them some pretty significant results. And these are not really outliers. These are not sort of unrealistic things for you to be able to expect. I can't guarantee that it's going to be the same thing for you, but these are some of the types of things where if you do implement this stuff correctly, if you do the behaviors, the results will follow. So it really comes down to the 5 elements of successful dental marketing. You want to have all these pieces in play and you will see results. So the first one is marketing, and this is really just everything that you're going to be doing, but also the strategy. So here we have a quick graph for you, or a quick image that shows a lot of different things that you can incorporate into your online marketing strategy. We have SEO here, which is doing things on your website and off your website that allows Google to understand your website better and trust your business more to show you more highly in the search engines when people type in keywords like I need a dentist in Glendale, California. PPC, which is an acronym for pay-per-click. It basically means using Google AdWords to be able to drive more business to your website. Retargeting, this is when people come to your website once, you can actually follow them around the web and retarget them and have them come back. So I'm sure you've experienced this sometime. Maybe you were shopping on some kind of online e-commerce website for some shoes or a pair of pants or something like that, and then you click away and you go to a news website and then you see those pants following you around. We have paid online directories. Sometimes you will be prospected by paid online directories, and we'll actually recommend no, don't pay them. But there are some instances and there are some directories that can be profitable for. So we have referral business, we have pay-per-lead, social media advertising, and referral programs. So these are all things that encompass that complete strategy. And don't worry, we're not trying to go into detail here. We're just giving you an overview about these. So the marketing strategy. So marketing is really all the activities and the tools that you utilize to bring additional awareness to your practice, your products, your services, etc., in order to generate more leads, patients, and revenue. It's the combination of everything. And a properly crafted marketing strategy is going to position your dental practice on the specific marketing channels, the ones you choose, so the search channel, the pay-per-click channel, the social media channel, etc. It's going to position you where your customers live. So if your customers are on Twitter, you want to have a presence on Twitter. If your customers are somewhere else, you want to be there, right? So the marketing strategy is going to dictate that for you. Starting with the proper strategy will allow you to focus on the most profitable channels, and it's going to save you time and money by ignoring the ones you don't need. Like I mentioned in the previous slide, sometimes there are paid directories where you want to actually have a presence, and some of them you're not going to want to. For example, I see a lot of people paying exorbitant amounts of money to yellowpages.com when they really don't drive them any business. And how can you know that unless you have a well-crafted marketing strategy and you have analytics to tell you that this is actually driving business or it's not. And analytics is a big part, which we're going to get into soon. So the proper strategy works together to make sure that all the parts are performing cohesively and optimally. So let's talk about the tool belt. Like we said, the marketing aspect of this is all of the activities and tools that you're going to need in order to make this profitable and successful. So the tool belt, some of the things you're going to need is a website. You want your website to be beautifully designed for the consumer, but also structurally sound for the search engines. traffic, you're going to need some kind of traffic source, whether or not you get that from doing SEO to bring in people organically, or you want to pay for the traffic using pay-per-click, or a combination of both, which is what we have found the most success with. Email. You want to be able to send emails to people for obviously appointment reminders, but also things that can help improve your sales and your marketing, such as discounts or even nurturing sequences. As you know, ever since you signed up for something on our website, whether that was opting in for a checklist or signing up for a webinar, you've probably received multiple emails from us, which helps keep things top of mind. It just helps with reminders, and it helps nurture that relationship. So by the time you actually talk to us, you kind of know us a little bit. You know a little bit about what we are about, how we communicate, and you feel more comfortable, and we're sort of building a relationship in that sense. Chat. A lot of people now are using chat on their websites, and that's one of the tools that we recommend and that we use. Obviously phones. And when I say phones, I don't mean like just do you have a telephone? I mean like, do you have call tracking set up? Are you able to see who's calling? Do you have call recording on? Can you actually listen? Maybe you start getting a couple pieces of this. For example, let's say you start driving a lot of traffic to your website. So you have the traffic and website pieces there, and you're actually getting a lot of phone calls. But if you don't have call tracking set up, how are you going to know if those phone calls are being driven from your money spending on PPC or the money you're spending on paid advertising? And you want to understand which channels, PPC or SEO, is more profitable so that you can allocate your marketing budget there appropriately. You also want to know things like when when whoever it is that answers the phone, whether that's a receptionist or an office manager or whomever it is, like how are they answering the phones? Can I listen and hear how they're answering the phones? It's crazy how many times we come into the situation where we'll drive a lot of traffic to a client's website, and we'll see more traffic, we'll see more calls, we'll see all the right things, but they'll be complaining about their patients and saying, oh, your leads are bad, or what have you. And then what we do is we start listening to some of the phone calls, and the way that people answer the phones really needs to be fixed sometimes. I mean, how many times have you called a business and they basically just pick up and say hello, and you're like, hey, is this even the business that I'm calling? And they're like, oh yeah, this is the business, right? So those kinds of experiences can significantly affect your entire marketing, right? At the very end there, when you almost have a new patient, you kind of lose it. And that's what I mean by phones here. A CRM system, or customer relationship management. A lot of industries have their own CRMs, and you also might be able to use a generic CRM, but this could be anything from like an ActiveCampaign all the way over to a specific industry CRM for you, where you're just managing those people, making sure they're getting appointment reminders, etc. Social media presence and customer service. So let's talk really quick about the search engine results page, or SERP for short. And this is basically, you've seen thousands of these. I guarantee you've seen thousands of these in your lifetime, but you might not have even noticed it yet, right? So the search engine results page is really just the page that shows up after you search something. It is quite literally the results that show up on the page after searching, right? So this image is going to be way too hard to see, but if you'll notice, if you'll just look at it kind of from the broad perspective, you'll see that it looks like the long search engine. And let's say you Googled something like dentist near me. At the top, you have paid ads. And then down here, you have a map pack, which inside of it can actually have a paid ads area. And then here at the bottom is paid ads as well. So this whole thing is the SERP. But right here in the screenshot, we're pointing out where the PPC area is. So just think about this for a second, is if you're trying to get customers that are going to, 92% of them are going to choose something on page 1. Everything that's in red here shows where you can show up if you're using PPC, if you're using Google AdWords. So that's a significant amount of space. If we just kind of eyeball it, it looks like maybe 25 to 30% of the page right there is taken up by paid. Now, if we take a look at the map area, these sections here, a lot of people click on these maps just because there's a nice button that says call, right? Or go to the website. And you can just see some information about the business. You see the business name, you see the address, you see kind of how close it is to you, if you're familiar with the area, obviously, and you can see some reviews. So these actually get a lot of clicks, and this is probably about, if I just kind of use my fingers, about 25% of the page, right? So already here, if we know that 9 out of 10 people are going to click on something on page 1, which is this whole result, if you're in the PPC area, which takes up about 25% of the page, and you're in the maps area, which takes about another 25% of the page, you're already 50% in 50% of the page, right? You have a pretty good chance of being clicked on. If we continue, I'm just showing you the organic maps area right here, right? Because this is the paid section of the maps, with one little listing at the top, and then the rest are organic. So if you want to show up in both, you need a PPC strategy and an organic strategy. And then here's the organic area. These are all the results that don't come with a little thing next to it that says add, or that don't show up in the maps area, and that's like 50% of the page too. So when we talk about the complete online marketing strategy for dental professionals, we're talking about a combination of PPC, maps, and organic, and of course social media and other things. But as far as the search engine is concerned, if you have a presence in the PPC area, if you have a presence in the maps area, maybe paid and you can have this paid area in the maps and an organic area in the maps, and then you show up in the organic area as well, that's going to drive a lot of clicks. So that's what we're going for here. All right, so the next step is to have a website. You have your marketing strategy here. Now let's talk about the website for a second. So a properly built website acts as a digital representation of your storefront or your business, your brick and mortar business. It's an online experience of that. So I'm sure you've taken a lot of time, put a lot of, you have a lot of pride in the experience of when someone comes into your actual practice. But have you thought about that exact same experience when somebody comes to your website? Because that's really what this is. First impressions are important. And if business starts online now, you want to have a website that is going to reflect the quality of your practice from the online perspective. And when built correctly, your website should be one of your primary, if not the primary digital asset you have, and in assisting and generating the majority of your revenue. If you have a good marketing strategy that's going to be the traffic portion, right? Paid traffic or organic traffic, maybe traffic from social media. However your traffic is getting to your website, that's where it's all going. And this website should really be just a conversion machine, something that's there that pushes the consumer that already wants something that you offer, right? If someone's searching dentist in Glendale and they come to your website, they already want the services you offer. Now, your website needs to be set up in a way that just says you've come to the right place and encourages them to give you a call or fill out a form or however it is you want to have your intake process. On the flip side, if not built correctly, your website is a huge liability. Not only will it be a huge opportunity for you in missed potential, right? If you're spending a lot of money to bring people to your website and then they leave because the website doesn't work or it loads too slowly or it doesn't show up right on mobile or for one of a plethora of reasons, then you're just going to be spending a lot of money kind of throwing it down the drain, right? You're getting all your people to your website, but if the website's not doing its job, you're going to be wasting a lot of money. So not only is it a liability for you in that case, but it's actually a bad experience of your brand, right? And like we said, first impressions are everything, and you really only get one shot at those. So the purpose of the website: introduce new people to your brand. First impressions are key. Acts as a digital representation of your business. Attract in-need visitors to your brand, right? So these are the people who need your products and services now. For example, customer A in Glendale chips his tooth, types, I need a chipped tooth, Glendale, or emergency dentist near me. These are people who are searching for something exactly what you provide. And these are people in need of a product or service that you provide, and we're trying to get people to your website. So your website should attract those types of people. That's what I mean by in need. It should position you as a trusted authority or expert. If you have a really kind of crappy looking website versus your competitor who has a really nice looking website, who do you think the consumer is going to choose? Even if you provide much better service and your competitor really has kind of a bad reputation, not online, but has a bad reputation or doesn't provide quality services, if they look better to the consumer doesn't know any different. They can only see something, right? So it needs to position you as trusted. It needs to position you as an expert, a professional. And it needs to passively nurture your leads and make you money. So if people are coming to your website, and maybe you're not on the website answering your chat, there's a system that allows them to email you and put something into your CRM so that you can follow up the next day. It should do all these types of things for you. It should retarget them and bring them back to your website. Things that you don't have to do. Automate your life a little bit more on the marketing side. And it should make your marketing spend profitable, right? Marketing should always make you more money than you spend on it. So here's some quick stats. 80% of smartphone users use search engines at least once a day. 89% of people search for a local business on their phone at least once a week. 40% of mobile visitors will leave your site if it takes more than 3 seconds to load. So that's a huge one, right? And just think about that for a second. 40%, almost half of everyone who comes to your website is going to leave if it takes more than 3 seconds to load. Do you know how long your website takes to load? That's not a rhetorical question. Do you know? We're going to show you how you can find out and show you how you can fix it to make sure that it loads faster than 3 seconds. The average US adult spent 3 hours, 35 minutes on their phones every day in 2018. So what you're seeing here is that more and more things are going to mobile. Your website needs to load fast. It needs to look good on mobile. There's tests that we're going to show you how to do for those. And organization is critical, right? So we've talked about a lot of things that affect consumers when they come to your website, but let's talk about things that are going to affect, is Google even going to show you favorably in the search engines? So you want to have these things: a dedicated services page and dedicated service pages for each of your services. So what that means, well, I'll just show you. If you provide general dentistry, you want to have a page about general dentistry, or that could be your home page in many cases if you have one location. If you provide family dental services or dental services for children, pediatric, you want to have a dedicated page for that, right? So it would be yourwebsite.com/services/kids dental, pediatric, whatever you want to call it, it's fine. If you have emergency dental services, remember the case where the guy chips his tooth in Glendale and types in emergency dentist near me, you want to have a page on your website dedicated to emergency dental so that Google can show that page, show the emergency dentist page, right? That's more relevant than a children's dentist page. So what do you think it's going to show? That's why we need a service page for each of the services you offer. If you don't offer these services, you don't need them. Cosmetic dentistry, teeth whitening, braces, orthodontics, etc. I think you get the point. So we want to also have pages for each of the main cities that you service. If you're in Los Angeles, there are a lot of cities in Los Angeles, right? And they're all close together. And for example, I live in Pasadena, but my dentist is in Glendale, in fact. So I drive to Glendale. And to get to Glendale, I actually drive through like 3 or 4 cities. So you would want to have, if you can get customers coming to you from those different places, you want to have a page for each of those, because if somebody in Los Angeles Googles dentist in Glendale, what do you think is going to come up? A dentist located in Burbank that services Glendale with no Glendale page, or a dentist located in Burbank that services Glendale with a Glendale page, right? So Google is just trying to show their customers the most relevant things. So if you are located in Burbank or Pasadena or whatever city you're in, maybe you're in a metropolitan area, but you know that people will drive from a neighboring city to you, you want to have a page on your city, on your website for that city. You want to have proper on-page optimization, which means the title of the page, your header 1 tag, unique content, etc. Really, every single page on a website is kind of just like an outline that you would write in school. If you can remember back to those days where you had to write an outline, everybody's favorite task. It's really the same thing for SEO. You want to have the title of the page. You want to have the main points like the Roman numeral 1, 2, 3, etc. Right? Those are your headings. The subheadings are the little Roman numerals or the bullet points. Kind of like what we're doing here on this page. We have the thing at the top, which is the title of the slide. Then we have the main bullet points and sub-bullet points. It's just really organization. And then strong conversion elements. Real photos, real videos of you, of your office, your team. Personality, authenticity are key. When people start to know you, people like to do business with people, right? So if they can start to understand you and they can connect with you or relate to you or at least trust you, then you're going to have a much better time converting and getting patients to actually choose you once they land on your website. And of course, for SEO purposes, we want to have file names. So if you upload a picture of your office, a lot of people will upload a picture of their office to their website, and it will just say like, it'll just be a bunch of gibberish in the title, or it'll just say office, right? But you want a descriptive file name so that when Google reads that file, they understand this is a dental office in Glendale. Oh, that gives the page a little more relevance to Glendale and dentistry. Okay, so let's talk about some technical optimizations. So this is what I mean by mobile friendly. There's actually a mobile friendly test that you can do. And this is one of our clients that we ran, that we had to mobile optimize their website. And this is from Google. This mobile friendly test is from Google. So if you just go to the search engine and you type Google mobile friendly test for my website or something like that, you'll find this test, and Google will actually tell you, is your website mobile friendly? Like, do we approve, stamp of approval, yes or no? If it's not mobile friendly, they're going to be hesitant to rank you highly on their search engine, because why would they want to send their customers, which are people searching, why would they want to send them to your website when it's not mobile friendly if half of everyone leaves a mobile site? If it's not mobile friendly, they wouldn't. So you want to make sure you pass their stamp of approval. You want to make sure that your website is secure. So HTTP or HTTPS, right? You want to make sure that your websites are HTTPS, which means secured. This is basically another sign for Google that says, like, yes, we're trusted, yes, we're secure. Your customers, the people searching, when they come to my website, they're going to be safe. And of course, you want to make sure that your website loads fast. So there's also another tool by Google called PageSpeed Insights, and you can look that up, and you can put your website in there and analyze it. It will tell you how fast is your website on mobile, how fast is your website on desktop. So those are some technical elements you want. Here's some client examples. You can see here HTTPS, and actually me as the searcher, you can click and it'll say your connection is secure. If we find a website that does not have HTTPS, Chrome, Google Chrome, which is a browser installed on a lot of devices, all the Google laptops, all the Android phones, and many people just prefer to use Chrome anyways. So it actually alerts people searching that your connection is not secure if you don't have HTTPS. So what do you think that's going to do to your traffic if you spend a lot of good time and energy and money bringing people to your site, but then it says your connection is not secure? That person's going to be a little bit shaky and probably leave and go to someone else. So here's another example of having a mobile-friendly page. Basically means when somebody visits from their phone, does it look in a way, or does it display in a manner that they can actually click on things like call? Can they scroll around? So we actually developed this thing called a website report card, which highlights the top level things that you're going to want to have a pass for in order to basically give yourself the best chance to show up in Google. And this is something that we can run for you. At the end of the webinar, if you're interested, we will actually show you how we can run one of these for you and see which parts you need to work on. Everything from website design, SSL, which is actually just another word for HTTPS, right? Is your website secure? Is it not secure? The Google speed test, the Google mobile friendly test, and some other things as well. And really what you want is to get a pass on everything. So when we run the website report card for you, you'll see, for example, if you fail Google Analytics, you'll get a fail and you'll see kind of a reason why. So after you fix those technical optimizations on your website, we want to talk about optimizing the website structure for Googlebot. So structure, design, and building your website here. The standard dental site structure is 3 to 5 pages. Right, so you have like the home page, contact us, about, maybe the team, etc. But then you want to add in pages for each of your services. We want to add in pages for each of the cities that you serve, or the sub-cities, neighborhoods that you want to draw patients from. You want to have correct SEO silo structure or website structure. Think about it from an outline again. If this sounds a little bit confusing to you, you don't really need to understand exactly what it is at this moment. Just understand that SEO structure is really just the structure of your website, the folder structure, the files, making sure everything is organized properly. Correct on-page optimizations like we talked about, the title tag, the header. We want to have conversion elements like a chat on the website. You want to have, obviously, a nice design. Like we talked about, you need to stand out from your other competitors. People do have choices, right? And page 1 of the SERP, or search engine results page, has a few options on it. So if people were to click on you and a competitor, you want to stand out. Okay, let's talk about keyword mapping. Now, this is critical, and this is actually one of the bonuses, right? And the reason why we include it as a downloadable is because it's a lot of information, and we want to help make that as easy for you to digest as possible. So really what we're going to be looking at is the combinations of things that consumers have been shown to search for when looking for a dentist. And we're going to give you some of the combinations here on the slide, but when you stay to the end, you can actually download our complete guide to it. So it's basically like your city, and wherever you see your city, just replace that with your city. So if you're in Phoenix, Arizona, that would be Phoenix Dentist. Or things like Phoenix Dental Office, Phoenix Teeth Whitening, Phoenix Braces, Phoenix Orthodontist. And even if somebody isn't searching with the word Phoenix in it, if they search from Phoenix, Google is obviously intelligent enough to know that there's somebody in Phoenix who needs a service provider that's local to them. And they know these things because if you search from a phone, there's GPS. If you search from Wi-Fi, you have an IP address that tells you the location they're in. So it doesn't really matter. They know where you're searching from. So it's really the combination of things. Your city, like Phoenix Broken Tooth, Chipped Tooth, Phoenix Kids Dentist, and then the reverse of that, Kids Dentist Phoenix, etc. These are all combinations of keywords. And if you notice, these are all services that are provided really by a dentist, but might not fall on that page, on the home page of your website. You might not have a lot of information about teeth cleaning on your home page or braces on your home page. That's why you need those inner service pages. And like we said, full list is going to be provided at the end for you, where you can download. So the typical dental website structure that we see is something like this. They have a home, about, a services page, and a contact page. And that's not going to cut it. What you're going to need is the optimized dental website structure. So the main pages, something that you might see on your menu bar, home, about, maybe why us, right? Like I said, people like to do business with people. So you want to say, why should we choose you over some other dentist? It could be credentials. You might even have your own credentials page. It could be the things that you do in the community. Maybe you'll have your own community page. It could be the discounts that you offer. Maybe you have your own discounts page, right? So the why us page can really be any reason why they should choose you over someone else, but it's important to have. You could have videos from you as the owner, like a video from the owner, right? Hello from the owner. Just connecting with potential patients that you might have and starting to build that relationship online. Sorry, I had a slight technical issue there, but I hope it's back and we're good. So I'm just going to keep going through here. Obviously the things below here, we want subpages for each service and subpages for each city serviced, as we've already talked about. So here's just a client example that we have. We can see on the menu bar, we have our services, and we have some drop downs for dental emergencies, family dentists, general dentistry, oral surgery, cosmetic dentistry, and that even has some sub-service pages. So you can see that we have broken out into the individual services we offer, providing more relevance to Google and the searcher if they are in this area, right? If somebody searches for cosmetic smile makeovers in this area, it's very likely that that page is going to show up above just another dentist. And as you can see here, that's exactly what happened. When you search for oral surgery Acworth GA, right? I'm not in Acworth, so I actually have to tell Google, like, where do I want to see these results from? You can see that their page for oral surgery is actually the one that shows up, and it's showing up higher than some other dentist pages because this page is all about oral surgery, and they're in Acworth, Georgia, so that relevance is very highly relevant. And you can even see down here that Google is saying people also search for oral surgeon Douglasville, right? So now you can kind of see full circle that you want a service page for the individual service and for each of the cities, because that is highly relevant to the searcher intent. So on the next page, you can see here another client example where we have optimized the page title, the URL. We have optimized some stuff here on the right side for the searcher, for the actual human, right? Some people want to call. Some people would prefer a chat option down here or a request an appointment, right? We also have some offers here that help new patients get a deal. We have some keyword headings here. This is more of like the structural and the on-page SEO optimization stuff here. So the page has to have everything on it. You want to please the user. You want to please the search engines. So when we optimize the website for people, we actually have a checklist here Let me see. Right. So the general idea is design and conversion. You want to give people multiple ways to contact you. You want a layout that the customer is accustomed to, right? A logo on the top left side. If I click on it, it's probably going to take me to the home page. If I want to call them, the phone number is probably going to be in the top right, up there on the menu bar, and or maybe in the footer area at the bottom of the page. So you want to just do these things that people are used to seeing on websites, right? Zero functional issues and help be proactive in guiding your visitors to take action. So here's going to be a list of conversion best practices and something that we'll include in the bonus section as well. So I'm just going to go through these real quick, but just think about when I'm going through this, ask yourself, yes or no, does my website have this? Number in the menu bar or in the top. A web form where the customer can request a quote. Links to your social media profiles. Direct links to your online reviews and testimonials so people can see that you're legitimate. Your company name, address, and phone number on every side of the page may be in the footer. Unless you have more than one location, then that doesn't really apply. Personality, do you have real photos and videos of you and your team, etc.? Forget your trucks. But basically, stock photos are great. They look very nice, they're professional, they're designed well, but they don't always convey the personality, right? We want to be conveying personality. Do you have a clear explanation of why they should choose your company? Do you have a video, hello from the owner? Do you have special offers or incentives to drive action? Coupons, right? Is your site mobile ready? Do you have a map on your website or embedded on key pages with driving directions? Do you have a clear call to action after big blocks of text, right? So if you have a page about dentistry, if the whole thing is just one big paragraph, you want to be separating it out with call to action, like call us, contact us, chat with us. Those are all calls to action, calling someone to take action. Do you have a web form on each page so that someone, wherever they're at in their journey, maybe they are on page 3, right, or page 4, they're looking through your website and they decide, I want to contact this person. Is there a form on that page somewhere, like on the sidebar, where they can just contact you? Do you have things that pull them deeper into the site, additional content, etc.? Personality, show your team, reviews, etc. We've already shown that. Okay, so the next part is analytics. And this doesn't need to be overly complicated, but it is. It's not a simple thing to implement, but it's simple to understand. So let's go through what you need. Analytics helps us understand how consumers behave on our website so we can make improvements which will positively impact our business's bottom line. And as Peter Drucker says, you can't improve what you can't measure. So if you don't know who's coming to your website, where they're coming from, what they're doing, what they would prefer to be doing, how can you make any changes that's going to improve their experience? That's what analytics will do for us. So the purpose is to understand where your traffic is coming from and what it's doing so you can make improvements. Analytics also tells us how much revenue or sales your marketing is producing. Remember that example we gave about call tracking, right? If you're doing paid advertising and you're doing organic marketing, both of which cost money, how do you know which one is more profitable for you? Well, that would be analytics. Analytics tells us where people call, like I just said, paid or social or organic. And they also are what are going to drive your reporting, right? Giving you clear and concise reports so you can see snapshots of your progress every month, every 3 months, however it is. You want to make sure that you're on the right track. And there's no reporting if you don't have analytics. You have to have it set up correctly. Here's some stats. About 30 billion websites use Google Analytics. Here's a case study. BT Financial Group with conversion testing. They were able to increase form completions by more than 60%. So remember, we keep talking about this whole thing of driving traffic to your website, but is your website converting? Is it working for you? And it's going to be, we want it to be one of those primary digital assets for you, right? So here's a company that implemented analytics and realized that by changing around their form, they actually had 60% more form completions. That's a lot, right? That's a lot of money that they just saved from people that were on the form and leaving for whatever reason. With insights from Web Analytics, BuildDirect increased sales by 50%. Puma, as you guys all know, the sneaker company, just from testing its website header, it increased online orders by 7%, right? So these small changes that take like 10 minutes to implement, right? If you have a web developer that says, hey, switch our website header around here, increasing their online orders by 7% from one little change, but they wouldn't have known to do that change without analytics. So let's talk about the dental industry now. Those are fashion industries and technology industries, right? So web analytics are used to increase patient signups, right? Maybe your form is broken, maybe it has too many questions, maybe the sign up button or the submit button is a little weird to see, maybe it's not showing up on mobile, whatever the case may be. We can increase the amount of new patients you get by testing things like where's your phone number located, etc. Improving the user experience, uncover missed opportunities. Maybe people are on your website and they're searching for something and you don't have a page for that when you should. Decrease the cost to acquire new patients, right? If we can get more people that are already on your website taking action, then your cost to acquire new patients comes down and increase overall traffic to the site. So the tools you're going to need: Google Analytics, Google Tag Manager, Google Search Console. These are all free tools provided by Google that help you measure activity on your website and give you actionable insights. Google Data Studio, Google Optimize, Hotjar, which is a third-party tool that allows you to actually see what people are doing visually, almost like screen recording, and Facebook Analytics. And then finally, CallRail. This is the call tracking software that we use. We've talked a lot about tracking phone calls, understanding where they're coming from, and even recording them so you can optimize your phone call experience, and CallRail is the one that we use. So here's a client example, a dashboard that we could set up that shows their SEO performance, and it shows some things from their analytics as well. And these are reports that we provide to our clients so that at any time they can take a look at how things are going. Here's another one that we provide that shows organic sessions month over month, so you can see the trend going up. And we also like to track goal completion. So in your analytics, you can set up things like how many people are filling out my form or how many people are calling me, right? And you can see month to month how many leads you're getting and the increase in leads over the course of months or years, etc. Okay, we're almost getting through this here now. So we have our marketing strategy, we have our website set up, we have our analytics and tracking in place. Now it's time to start driving traffic immediately to our business, right? So the two primary ways we're going to drive traffic to this asset that you've created, your website, with properly installed analytics, is through advertising, which allows us to put our business in front of consumers who want the services and products we provide instantly, and then SEO, which allows us to build up the trust and the authority of our website so that our website can be displayed in the organic areas. And advertising, we recommend everyone be doing advertising unless you already have a steady stream of patients and you don't necessarily need more leads or more patients right now, then you can go straight to SEO. But for most dentists, they want to be able to get some return on their investment immediately, as paid advertising will provide that, whereas SEO takes a bit longer in order to see a return. So, advertising, used to generate business quickly. Put your practice in front of consumers who are actively searching for your products at the moment they need them. And when done correctly, it can bring new patients to your practice immediately. Here's some stats. The top PPC search engines in order are Google, Yahoo, and Bing. Roughly 36% of mobile searches that are local are performed using Google. 69% of searchers that are mobile call a business straight from the Google search. And 40% of brands say their PPC budget is lower than they actually want to be. So brands are really seeing more and more every year how valuable this can be to driving new traffic. 40% of brands want to increase their budget. So first we need to just understand Google Ads a little bit about how they work. It's a bidding system, right? So you bid for how much you want to show up at the top, but the highest bid doesn't always mean the best ranking. There's other considerations because Google wants to serve the best results to their customers. So you can't just pay to be at the top. You have to pay and provide a quality result. And they judge that based on something called quality score. So quality score is determined by how many people see your ad and click on it, meaning is what I searched for, they're showing me some kind of result. Does that look like what I wanted? The relevance and the quality of the landing page. So when they click on that and they get to the page, does this page match with what I was originally wanting? So the better your quality score, you actually can pay less to show up higher. So here's a Google ad here. If you look on your screen, when Googling a dentist in Pasadena, California, you can see somebody advertising there at the top. Paid ads, you basically show to put your business up at top. This website does not show up on Google unless they're paying Google to be showing up there, right? So as soon as they stop paid ads, they're gone. They'll lose all their traffic, and that's why it's important to have SEO as well as paid ads. Because SEO, when you stop paying for ads, your website still shows up. So pay-per-click advertising, excellent way to generate new leads fast, because when you pay for it, you get to the top, assuming that your things are quality. Paying Google to show up highly, it's that simple. So let's talk about why most pay-per-click campaigns fail. Number one, they only set up one ad group, right? So if they have, let's say it's for a plumber, emergency plumbing, drain cleaning, they have all these different services, just stepping away from the dental for a moment, just so you can kind of wrap your head around this. If you have a business that's offering different services, and let's say that I'm a consumer and I want a specific service, if they only have one ad group for all these services, then Google's not going to see that as very relevant. Same sort of thought process is why we want to have individual service pages for each of the different services we offer. They may be similar, but they're not the same. They don't use specific text ads in each landing pages for the groups of keywords. So remember we said quality score. If I'm somebody and I want a emergency dentist in Glendale and I Google that, if the result that comes up is just dentist, that might not be exactly what I'm looking for. And if I click on it, it just says dentist, or even something that's irrelevant like orthodontics to my search, then you can have a low quality score and have it fail. So no strong call to action on the landing page. Not utilizing negative keywords. So these are all things that really come back to one thing that you need to understand, its relevance. When you have an ad set up, you want it to be as relevant as possible to an individual looking for a product or service and then getting that. Yeah, so broad targeting to all demographics instead of using audience targeting. These are all things that will help improve your advertising campaigns. So to set it up, you want to set up a specific ad group for each of your services, just like we set up a service page for each service. When we're doing ads, we want to set up an ad group for each service. And we want to have a text ad that's about that service. So if you're trying to advertise more teeth whitening, you want to have an ad group about teeth whitening. You want to have the ad be about teeth whitening, and then the landing page that when they click on the ad to get to the landing page, you want that to be about teeth whitening. It needs to be relevant all the way through. Yeah, a specific landing page for each ad group. And then A/B test your ads for success, which means that you might not know exactly what someone is looking for, so you can write 2 ads and then have Google display one sometimes and the other times, and then they'll actually tell you which one's better. So really it's just testing and making everything as relevant as possible. Here's some ad group ideas. So if you offer dental cleaning, you want an ad group about dental cleaning. If you offer cosmetic dentistry, you want a specific ad group about cosmetic dentistry. It's really one for each of the services you provide. It's really that simple, but it's important to do. So the pros and cons of Google Ads. Immediate exposure and leads. You can reach a large audience quickly. Keyword marketing means your ads are always relevant, right? If you do it right and someone's searching for an emergency dentist, your ad for emergency dentist is going to come up, and that's very relevant. It means that anyone searching for a service is going to see exactly what they need. The cons, it's expensive because you have to pay for every click, and when you stop advertising, you're no longer on the search engine unless you have good SEO. Many people do skip the ads, right? That's another reason why it's important to build SEO, is most people click on the organic results. So although advertising can drive you some good traffic in the beginning, you're going to miss out on a majority of the traffic if you don't have a comprehensive strategy. And there is a learning curve to it. Okay, so we're at the last part now, SEO, search engine optimization. Search engine optimization is the process of continually optimizing your website so your dental practice will show up at the top of the search engines organically. If you're not at the top when someone searches for a dentist or the service in your area, they're going to choose your competitors. It's that simple. This is where people go to find answers to their questions, and service providers to the things that they need, and if you're not at the top, they're going to go with your competitors. So the purpose of SEO is to position your practice as a trusted resource to Google and to the customer, and make sure your website, which is, as we've talked about, the digital representation of your brand, Make sure it's showing up at the top of the place where everyone goes to find answers to their questions and solutions to their problems. It brings people to your website who already have a problem and need your solution, but don't know that you exist, right? So if I need a dentist and I'm in Glendale, I'm going to search for a dentist in Glendale. And if you're there, boom, now I know that you exist. I already have a problem. I need a solution. I already know what the solution is. It's a dentist. I just need to find a dentist. So position yourself at the top of the SERP so you're perceived as the most trusted resource. Many people see the results at the top as being trusted, right? They trust Google. That's why Google is one of the biggest companies on the planet. So put all your products and services in front of people who need them now. That's what marketing is all about, right? Putting the products and services that you offer in front of the person who needs it at the time they need it. Here's some stats. 89% of people search for a local business on their phone at least once a week. 50% of all searches will be conducted through voice by 2020. 1 in 6 Americans own a smart speaker, like an Alexa or a Google Home. 2 out of 5 adults use voice search daily. So you can see more and more people are starting to get away from phone books and go away to search engines, whether that's a voice search engine or it's a search engine like you're accustomed to on your phone or on your computer. So there's really 4 parts of SEO that we're going to go through, and it's going to be on-page optimization, Google Maps, off-page optimization, and content. And it's not going to take too long to go through this because they're all pretty simple to explain. It's just important that you have them all in your arsenal. So on-page, unique title tags, H1 tag, restating the title tag on each page. Images, make sure your files are named with keywords. Your URL should contain the keyword, right? domain.com/services/cosmetic dentistry. You want to have a proper sitemap. That's just an XML sitemap that can be created with WordPress with a plugin. You want to have your Google Webmaster Tools set up. And schema to further tell Google what your page is all about. So, and then of course, image, alt tags, and metadata, which we've already kind of discussed. You want to name your images with keyword variations, and you can also put in the metadata so that computers can read what is this image about, right? Computers are getting better at understanding what an image is through image recognition, but still giving them alternative text describing the image can help. So for Google Maps, this is going to be a key strategy. You want your business to show up there when someone Googles the services that you provide. So the checklist, and something that we can include in the bonuses section for you, just to make sure that you have each one of these. Verified Google Business. Fully filled out Google Business, right? You want to fill out the description area, the URL, your hours, photos, videos. You want to fill out all the services area inside your Google Business profile. Just make sure you fully fill all that out. Google Map with driving directions on your website somewhere, usually embedded on your website on a few key pages. You want to have reviews, so you want to have a system in place that encourages your patients to leave reviews after they have a good experience with your business. You want to have people interacting with your map. So when your listing does show up on the Google Maps, next to other people's listings, you want to make sure that you're getting people to click on it. Interaction. You want to have proper structured data on your website, which we go over in a different training. And you want to have Google My Business engagement. So you want to be posting on your Google Business, showing that it's active. Here's some examples from the inside of Google Businesses from our clients. You can see on the Insights tab how much activity this is driving for them, and you can see the growth of the things that we're doing, the optimizations that we're doing for them. Just in this month alone, their Google Business, where they showed up in the maps, drove 41 visits to their website, 31 people asked for directions, and 44 calls came into their practice just from their map listing. That doesn't even include their PPC, that doesn't include their organic or the other strategies. Here's another one where we talk about member photos and showing personality, where our business is up here and how many photos we have compared to other businesses like us. So you can see we're really utilizing rich media, which is photos and videos, so we can help them not only show more personality to the customers, but also show Google, give them more information about their business so Google can trust us, right? And as you can see here, what that's doing for us is helping us to increase the amount of interaction we're getting, right? So for this business, you can see that in that month, there were 4,000 impressions, which means the number of times your photos have been viewed, right? So they showed up on the search engine in the image area. They might have showed up on the search engine in the Google Maps area, and somebody was actually looking through photos, scrolling through the photos. So almost 5 times as much engagement versus other businesses in the area. So you can really see your photos receive 280% more views than similar businesses. So what do you think a consumer is going to do when they have a choice between 2 dentists? The one that they have seen 5 times as much media from, and assuming that they like that media, right? It's good quality photos, good videos. They start to get an idea and feel a little more comfortable with that dentist versus another one. They're going to call that one. And we can see here from another example, some of the things that people are actually searching where the Google business shows up. So if you optimize, like we say, you can see that this business, the Google business, is actually popping up when people Google teeth whitening or tooth extraction or dentist, right? So what you can really see here is that by optimizing your website correctly, optimizing your Google business correctly, when people are searching for different things, Google is understanding that you provide those services and now showing your business listing. So one way you can do that is by making sure you get business directories. Manually claim and optimize the Google business, get listed in the major data aggregators. And a data aggregator is just a place where you submit your business information and it helps to put it on the other business directories online. Sorry, I have allergies, so my nose is really itching. I hope it's not too distracting. Get a business listing on the primary business directories, which we have a list for you. Get a business listing on the industry and location specific directories, which we also have for you. So if you're in a certain city, you want to be listed in, like, if you're in Los Angeles, you want to be listed in like the Los Angeles Business Directory.com directories, right? Those types of listings. And you also want to be listed on the dental specific directories, right? It helps show Google that some more relevance towards you. And we have lists of those for you. You want to use a tool to help manage and track your listings over time so that they're all consistent across the web. For example, here's 48 local SEO citations for dentists that you can get. And like I said, you can download those in the bonus area. So the last 2 things, content and link building. Simply content, you want to produce quality content. The more quality content that you have on your site, the more words are on your website, aka keywords. So when people are typing in things, your website has a chance to show up. And the better your content, the easier it will be for other websites to link to you as a trusted resource and that you'll be able to show up for. As you build more content, Google continues to visit your website and sees, okay, they're putting out more content about teeth whitening, they're putting out more content about dentistry, and you really build up your trust and your relevance here, just like you would with anything, right? If you're always talking to people about dentistry, they begin to see more and more that you're the expert in that area. Google can do the same thing. So there's high intent content, which is basically like if I said if I chipped my tooth and I wanted an emergency dentist and I Google emergency dentist Glendale, if you have a service page for that, that's high intent. I need to act now. I need to get my tooth fixed. You have medium intent, buyer intent, right? So if I'm looking, if I know I kind of need a dentist, but I'm sort of shopping around, like what are the top dentists in my city? And then you have low intent, people that are looking for information, but you could potentially provide the answer to that, to their questions, position yourself as the expert, and maybe they'll decide, hey, I kind of want to have a professional do this for me, right? So like if someone's Googling how to fix a chipped tooth, you can, maybe they think they can like glue it themselves, or they can, file it or something like that. And you can make an article about how to fix a chipped tooth, and they can really understand like, hey, maybe this is not something that I should be doing myself. Let me go ahead and give that guy a call whose article I just read. Or what to look for when evaluating a dentist for your child, right? That might even be in the medium intent, right? If a mother or a father are looking for a dentist for their child, but they're a little nervous and they're not exactly sure what to search for or how to evaluate a dentist, they might type in something like, how do I evaluate a dentist, right, for a kid, or how do I choose a children's dentist? You can make an article about that, giving them great information about the things they should look out for and honest information about that, and then they can say, hey, well, maybe I'll actually just consider this guy. And then finally, links. Link building. Links are votes. Other websites on the internet, if they link to you, Google sees that and they go, well, if these other people are kind of linking to him and sort of vouching for him, then they must be kind of trustworthy. So the more links you get from quality places, Google sees that as well. They're like computer referrals. Yeah, more than half the battle is getting links. So once you've set up your website and everything is optimized, you're putting out some content maybe once a month, the whole foundation is built. At that point, you really just want to get links from good places, dental associations, community engagements. If you did something maybe in your city, and you can get a link from like the Chamber of Commerce or whatever city organization that was. These are all things that build relevance, and Google can see, oh, other trusted businesses in this city are linking to him. Other trusted businesses in this industry are linking to him. He must be relevant for this city and this industry. So you can build social links like your Facebook, Twitter, LinkedIn, etc. You can get links from business directories like Yelp, Manta, MapQuest. You can get links from dental organizations or associations that you're a part of, maybe even your alma mater. Press and industry blogs, right? There's a lot of bloggers in the health space, in the dental space, and if you get links from those websites, Google can see, oh, a link from a dental blogger is linking to this website. It's probably pretty relevant. So this is a lot of stuff here, and what I want to offer you at this point is we're going to show you, or we're going to give you a lot of downloads to the resources that are going to help you do this. If you prefer Done For You or DFY, if you think that, okay, now that you understand a little bit more about what's going on here, and it seems like a little bit overwhelming, or it seems like maybe you don't quite have the time to do this, we are happy to help you, right? That's what we do. That's the only thing we do. We help dentists and dental professionals with their online marketing. So if you do prefer a done-for-you method, and know that we only work with one dentist per city because of conflicts of interest, we can't help you. So what we'd like to offer you for sitting on this webinar and educating yourself, which, believe it or not, does help us, right? If we ever were to work together, we don't have to go through and explain our whole process and explain how this all works. So as a thank you for that, what we're going to do is a one-time webinar special offer where we're going to run your website report card, like we showed in an earlier slide. We're going to develop your keyword list for you. We're going to determine your current rankings of your website and the potential ROI. Remember that ROI calculator where we can basically accurately guesstimate how much growth is available in your area. And then we're going to review your website's conversion elements, assess the links, look at your citations and reviews, and recommend you an optimal course of action. Basically, taking all this information in here about how to create your marketing strategy, and we're going to create it for you. So if that's interesting to you, or if you want to just speak to us more about your marketing strategy, just go to the SEOdentist.com/strategy, and you can sign up there. Directly book a link on Sage's calendar or one of our sales managers' calendars, and we'll be able to basically talk to you about how we can get that done for you. So if you have any questions or comments, this is going to be the time that we take those. And at the moment, one last thing before we sign off here, and I'm not going to record the questions and comments because if you're not on it live, then they're not going to be relevant for you anyways. Remember, just leave your comments and questions below and we'll answer those. But if you go to the SEOdentist.com/bonus, that's where you're going to be able to download all those resources. So at this time, thank you so much for joining us. Remember, if you want some help with this or you want to get further information, the SEOdentist.com/strategy is where you can book a time with us. The SEOdentist.com/bonus is where you can download all those resources. And for questions and comments, I'm just going to stop the recording here, but stay on. If you put a question in the box there during the webinar, stay on, and I'm going to answer them after. I'm just going to stop the recording here. And for everybody else, thank you so much for your time. Hopefully we can hear from you and help you increase your marketing and your leads, patients, and profits.